Welcome to the Operators Podcast, episode 84. We have Katie from Caden Lane, an old friend, a longtime confidant, protector of all things e-com. She says what she says, and you cannot control what comes out of her mouth. We talk AppLovin, we talk TV, we talk a little bit of holiday. Dude, Katie's the best. She can replace any one of us anytime. We love having her here. Nobody's tougher, nobody's like harder to win over, but nobody will defend you like Katie will. So thank you for being here, Katie. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Fulfill, Northbeam, Postscript. I use all three of those softwares. And you know what? Katie does too. If you want to be like her, use those. Check out AppLovin, check out Zatari. Try new ad channels every once in a while. This is non-monetized by those guys, but we are monetized by Fulfill, number one ERP. It's a 4-star rating, which is the highest score an ERP could ever get. Postscript, Northbeam. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Goodbye.
It's so easy to talk about like how hard it is to build like proper ERP.
It's such a conundrum too, because usually implementing an ERP is so difficult. We're starting a new, vertical, and as we're starting it, one of the questions we're asking at the beginning actually is, when do we need to integrate with an ERP? When do we need to start thinking this way? Because it was so incredibly painful when we finally did it with Simple Modern. And so usually the integrations on these things are just an absolute bear because, like you said, Matt, it's just a mess usually.
Well, it's also the funny thing is there's been multiple times in our business history where we actually weigh the decision to do something based on the level of difficulty to make it work with existing integrations.
That's where it's really frustrating
stupid.
when accounting is stopping you from selling things.
Yeah.
And those are the things that'll just drive you crazy as an entrepreneur.
I have literally lost my shit because of this type of stuff. We're sorry, we're not doing it for what reason? It's like, oh, it's because integrations is going to take forever. I'm like, this is why I don't want to own a company anymore.
Yeah. So what do you guys think the highest score you could give to a NetSuite is? I think both you guys are a NetSuite. What's the highest score you could possibly give them? 1 to 5.
1 to 5?
It's really hard to get above probably the high threes, 3
Yeah.
point something. The other problem with it, Sean, is that like you can't just implement NetSuite. Usually you have to go and get all of these extra contractors. This entire ecosystem of people around NetSuite just to help build integrations. And the problem with that is that the mileage really varies there and the quality level really varies there. That was actually where we had some of our problem, is that we hired a contractor and we spent a whole bunch of money. They were supposed to be building integrations, only for us to get integrations that sucked, where we had to go back and redo them ourselves internally over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's not even just the NetSuite thing, although like I'm not like going to give it a 5 out of 5 or anything, but it's so complicated and you need so many other contractors that really drags down the score as well.
I think it's like I think it's ERP is like telcos, Sean. Like they're basically in the business of managing dissatisfaction because they're all so difficult to use.
Yeah. Like, so famously what Matt's referencing is that Comcast has like 10% of people like Comcast, yet it's $100 billion a year business, right? It's because
just nobody likes their telco provider. Like when was the last time you're like, man, I love AT&T. What a great day to be on AT&T.
Right. So
said nobody.
So we just released Sean's vendor list where I give 1 to 5 scores to everyone that we currently engage with. Fulfill, my ERP of choice, I give them a 4 out of 5 stars. And they were like, if you do not know about ERPs, maybe that you'd be bummed out by getting a 4 out of 5 stars.
That's an incredible score.
Yeah. I think the theoretical limit for an ERP should be a 3. Nobody is happy with it. It is like going to the dentist. It's like, even if you have the best dentist on earth, even if they're so kind and so sweet, they're still going to put a drill in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like that is the ERP business. So if you're looking for a 4 out of 5 ERP, which if you grade on a curve is like a 1 billion out of 10 ERP, check out Fulfill.
You know what we're trying new right now is we actually got a temp agency. And this is the first time for us to do it. And we're just doing it in warehouse. So like, skill set expectations are very low. We're supposed to be able to put them in a position and they catch on like right away. And the best part is if they're complete duds, we just send them home. So there's no writing ups. There's no like following after. The pay is a little bit more, but honestly, it comes out cheaper than us like hiring and counseling and writing up
Yeah,
and
fully loaded costs.
and since
Yeah.
we know it's going to be temporary and like just through like December 10th or 13th, we're doing that. And it's kind of a cool system. You like build your pool of employees and then you rank them. And so you always have this like pool of like ours is about 10 to 20 employees. And so each day we've been doing it for about 2 weeks, and each day we bring in like 2 or 3 that we already liked, and then we try 2 or 3 new ones. So we're building out this like pool, right?
We do something similar with our Costco Roadshow business, Katie.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to do what Jason does. Like it took him years, right, to staff up to like a full army of roadshow sales reps. So you have to use these temporary agencies that like staff for you.
Oh,
It's
for road shows?
yeah.
But those people have to like sell and perform.
They do.
They're-
Yes. So like
yeah.
when you get it, there's no in between. So like I have on a scale of 1 to 10, there's 10s or -7s,
Yeah.
right? Like there's
Yeah.
nothing in the middle with this type of staffing. Like we either get person, we're like, oh my gosh, I'd love to hire this person full time, or they're not even showing up to work. Like they just they can't find the building.
We had somebody pull up on one of the temps and all of their windows had been smashed out with like a baseball bat. We kept them. They were okay. They met the quota every day, and so we kept them. Now they just park in the back. So it's not completely.
You run a 3PL like in a is it a C market? Like you're outside of San Antonio, but like pretty far. Who are the people working there? Like, is it college kids or moms?
No, not college kids. So, I mean, because we're office and fulfillment all in the same building. So, and that's 2 different kind of hires for the most part, right? Like, especially in receiving and shipping and things like that. Super easy to hire in like our office, customer service, marketing, that kind of stuff. And we have the best team. Most of them, if not all, are moms or soon to be moms. The warehouse is a little bit harder. We're out in the hill country and it's a very affluent area. So we don't have like a lot of the, ins and outs of people, right? Like this, you kind of move out here to live on a ranch. And so we have a wide variety, honestly. It's a little bit of everything, but we get a lot of people from like Chili's or Chick-fil-A or that kind of stuff where, our pay is the same, if not better. And we're not just, I think our like work environment's a little bit nicer. Like our warehouse is air conditioned.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, in Texas, it's got to be. People are going to die.
No, yeah, you're too hot.
We almost did die. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's in Texas. That's why I put my sweater on today. And I was like, only in Texas do you put on a sweater that has short sleeves. Like that's how we pretend like it's fall here.
So I got one for you, Katie. I was at my buddy's house last night. We went out for a hike with the families and then went back to their place. They also have 1 kid. So like, they're like us. They're half
EAs
parents.
Like made dinner for them. And
yeah.
They came home to a clean house.
So we go over there.
Tell me, Matt, how hard was your day?
No, it's so good. It was a great day.
Hiking.
Here's Sean, this is the shit I got to deal with Katie. So we go over here and it turns out, so like another couple comes over and their son works for me in our warehouse.
Oh, that could be a good or bad thing. Right?
Well, and he's like, he really likes the job. And I'm like, I looked at my buddy and I'm like, we pay well, right? Like, is it okay? Yeah. Cause it's like, it's his kid. He's a 21-year-old son. And he's like, oh no, he's so happy. He's like, dude, you guys are great employers in town. He's like, this guy, he's 21. He's dumb as shit. He's never going to get a job anywhere. This is the guy's father.
You've got him doing cycle counts on inventory. Like he's using his degree right now. It's amazing.
Yeah. He's like, no. He's young and stupid. Like he still needs to learn how to be smart. Like he's too young. But the competitive advantage that we have with talent is just, we pay like $4 more an hour than like Costco down the road. And you wind up getting much more competent people for like marginal cost increase. So your temp thing it works out in the wash. Like we deal with a lot less people problems. Nobody shows up to my office with a staff.
I mean, we still have people problems. I can't lie. And we actually right now are doing like an evening shift and Saturdays with high schoolers. That's our first time to do that. So we're doing temps, high
that's a good
schoolers, like the
idea.
whole thing. We're just trying to pad ourselves, right? So that when we need the volume, they're kind of trained. And the high schoolers have been really great, to be honest. I mean,
Oh yeah.
some of them are, they all, just like you explained, they all say it's like the most fun thing ever. They've, using the little finger scanner at like our shipping stations, and they scan things, it comes up. They think that is like so cool. But there's a lot, we kind of have to get through, like when we first bring them on, there's a lot of like, well, my mom said she needs me home by, and I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So once you like kind of, but it's good for them to learn too, right? Like, no, if you want this job, if you want to come back the next day, then that's not how it works. Like just because your mom said. So
you've got like Katie, you have the competitive advantage is that you've got good mom tone.
Yeah.
Like you.
Oh, you think I'm in there giving him that?
No. I just think like it permeates. My guess is that the mom tone permeates through the company. Like Sean and I have asshole tone.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's like the best, top down cultural way to communicate.
I mean, you're right. If people aren't hitting their goals, we go behind them and we dig our fingers into the back of their like arms, or we grab their ears and.
Dude, I have so much more fun doing the episode when Katie's here, man. Katie, we gotta replace one of the guys. Get you on here.
That's it. Somebody's fired.
What are you guys paying per hourly warehouse employee? So in Canada, in real money, how much is that, Matt?
$20 an hour.
Canadian?
No, US.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
that is pretty good. We start at 16,
I'm giving
but
you
we're in Texas, and everything is cheaper here. It just is.
Yeah, everything's more expensive here.
Yeah.
Dude, the best hack ever is, like Katie, you said it, taking people from a Chick-fil-A or a Chili's, like, or retail stores, right? Like if you're at Chili's, you're probably getting tips. Like that's pretty hard to comp. But like if you're just working at like a Target, like you make $9 an hour, right? And there's no tips.
And they have crappy hours, and there's no guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Like they're working shifts. And I think if you can like offer them basically, a set schedule that they can plan around, that's a perk.
Yeah.
That what you're gonna say, Sean?
Not having to deal with the public, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, you have like coworkers. There's not people walking in stealing shit. So that's definitely a good hack. But we're not here to talk warehouses. Katie, you can talk all day. We're here to talk about marketing channels
and the new, magic thing which you held away from me. Like you didn't even tell me about it. I had to discover this new way of reaching millions of people all by myself.
Okay, well here I'm going to set the record straight. I have not made any money talking about AppLovin. There's a lot of people out there shilling AppLovin for commissions or whatever else. We test a lot of different channels. It looks really good off the rip. They give us like $50,000 in ad credit in September. We tested it in October. It was totally fine. It's working right now. And then there's just been a wall of people talking about AppLovin, jumping over to AppLovin. So we have to talk about it. I have some theories going on, but Katie, you love it. You're a big fan of AppLovin.
I am. And do you want to know why there's like viral people? Because I talked to Kathy today, and I don't know whose y'all's rep is, but
I just talked to Kathy.
You did? Okay.
Yep.
Well, and she's amazing, but my rep for AppLovin, I have never met a rep that has so much energy and so much passion. And so like, I literally feel like he'll slack me at like Saturday at 7 p.m. Raphael, do y'all know him?
Oh, I'm checking my guy right now. He's in Slack.
Okay. Well, he's amazing. But anyways, Kathy told me earlier today that like, they're not brand new. They came around in April emailing all of us, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this is our program. Like, do you want to advertise on it? We reach this many people. This is how big we are. And everybody in e-commerce was like, what? Advertising on apps like gaming? No, like our customer is not on Call of Duty. What are you talking about, right? It's not Call of Duty, right? This is like the Candy Crushes and the, word scrambles. And admittedly, I'm not even on it. Are y'all gamers? Like
no.
Okay.
What's that?
I picture the people like, when you're on an airplane and like you look at the aisle next to you and they're playing on their phone, and I'm always like, man, they have a lot of free time.
Totally.
Yeah.
So my rep's also Raphael. And for everyone not familiar, AppLovin is a publicly traded company. As of today, they're worth like $90 billion or something. So they're worth like half of what Uber's worth, or as much as Airbnb. It is a ad network that traditionally their ad space has been mobile games. So when you play Candy Crush or you play Bejeweled or whatever, Balloons, any of those games, and like you have to watch ads every minute or 2 minutes, and there's like you get credit or jams, all that type of shit. They power all of that, and they've traditionally only had other mobile game sponsors them, or like the worst of the ad clients, the Tabulas of the world. They've made
And it's not on their platform. They advertise on all the platforms, right? Like that's how it's different.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're like an exchange, kind of like
Trade desk.
Trade desk, right? The big thing is they've shifted really hard towards attribution and actually like driving revenue. And it is right now performing, I think I've sent some screenshots to you guys. If not, I will. As good as Meta at about 1/5 of the spend. So we're getting as much, last click row as we're getting with Meta, about like 1/5 a clip. Is it going to last? Nobody knows. It's kind of a gold rush right now. Everybody's rushing in.
The answer is no.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
It's
Get
not.
your bad
Come
attitude
on,
out
guys.
of here.
You guys have been around a long time. Don't
I am here to say that do you know how much new customers it's driving for us right now?
Why you sent us the number? It's high.
It's unbelievable. Like if that they have 140 million daily users on all of their different gaming. That's not tiny, guys. That's bigger than TikTok, right?
Oh yeah, it's as big as TikTok is, or Snapchat, or anything else, right? Like as big as Twitter. So what I think is happening, because like it's been a revenue boom for a lot of different brands, and this is, people have heard about this by the time this podcast comes out. I think it is a big group of people who are used to the worst ads ever, right? You're playing your game and it's you typically get like scammy mobile ads showing up, right? So for some different game. And now they're getting beautiful Caden Lane ads. You know what I mean? A lot of it over indexes into a female audience, a little bit older audience. And they're getting awesome Ridge ads, like best in class Meta ads. And so like, of course everybody's converting. It's like people like good ads, right?
Yeah. Well, and it makes them watch it. Like they have to watch because, right, the whole thing about like Meta and Facebook and Instagram is they just scroll past it. And we obsess over those first 3 seconds of like getting them to stop and pay attention. Here, they have to pay attention for like 20 or 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Like they can't, if they die on their favorite game, they have to watch their ad on.
It's like a bridge between a Facebook ad and what television used to be.
Yeah.
Before you could record and skip, or before streaming, or whatever, and you could pay to just not see them. No, I think my comment is just there's a lot. Let's just define a lot. They have hundreds of consumer brands testing the platform right now, and in Facebook land, we're up against 7 million advertisers. So like it's a volume difference of like input. So my only thing is like the CPM math is going to have to change here.
Yeah. Well, but do you think it's affected like their other I mean, I know the brand's testing it and they're still in beta. It's still very brand new, but I bet we are just a blip on the radar. I doubt we've affected anybody's CPMs,
I don't know
right?
like how they segment, audience on there. Like, are we in a different pool than the app download people? Like, I don't know.
Okay, so here's what I've been told behind the scenes, right? I've talked to Katie. I've sent her fucking 100 brands, so I'm not getting any money out of it, but she's at least talking to me about it. They rolled out their advanced shopping, like actual like trying to drive revenue, pixel matchback, whatever, like 4 months ago. I think if you tested it in April, it sucked, and like they rolled it out slowly starting in September, so they actually have a good ads engine for the first time. That's why people are jumping and actually converting. Their revenue isn't all that big. I mean, I don't remember exactly. I thought it was $1 billion last quarter, but actually,
pennies, just pennies.
Well, yeah, it's bigger than Snapchat's revenue, but they're worth a ton of money. It's just growing really fast. So I think we are actually going to make a meaningful shift in advertising. Like I might spend $1 million there in November, right? Like Katie, you might spend $1 million there in November. So when you're talking about $1 billion a quarter, this is actually a lot of revenue pumping into the system. Yeah. The shocking thing is their CPMs are so expensive. Like we thought it was going to be a cheap CPM platform like, Snapchat is when you just go for views or clicks. Dude, the CPMs are the same as Meta for us. Now our Meta CPMs are lower because it's like a male first audience. Who cares? But it's like $10 to $12, right? It's the same CPM on AppLovin. The difference is it is locked in. There's less CPMs per minute because you have to watch the full 30-second ad. So all that to say is I think it's going to have a massive revenue growth from e-com. They've built the ad engine to actually work. And CPMs aren't cheap. Like CPMs are expensive. So people are actually buying shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But new audience, I mean, there's a lot of value in that. Like, what if, even 80% of the people on these apps, on these gaming apps, are people that are not on social media? I mean, right? Because the next thing we're going to talk about is linear, which I actually think same, right? Like, how do we reach these people that aren't on the social media apps that we're, I don't know, like so invested in?
Dude, the reason why I love this episode is because it is the newest channel, which is AppLovin. People getting excited about this, and then the oldest channel, linear TV. So
We should talk about print mail too and catalogs.
yeah. Okay, just a quick fact check. AppLovin's Q3 revenue was $1.2 billion. Their net income was $434 million. So they're an incredibly profitable company. Revenue was up 40% year over year. So that's like where like the big, stock price jump came from. But you have to think that I introduced Reformation to them. We have Mirror with Organics getting started. Like all of you guys, that could very well. Yeah, like that's Q4
Yeah, no,
revenue.
Matt, he forgot to tell you and me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He told 100 other brands that all got on right away, and then here come us like, whoa. I'm texting the group like, oh, have y'all heard about this?
Look, I'll be better. I've had a hard Q4, but look, what I'm trying to say is I still think we've just added 300 million in spend going into the platform, but it's one of those things where I think the CPMs won't go up faster than the ad engine gets better. Like if Reformation starts getting purchases in there, right? That's just shared learnings that'll go back to help Caden Lane or Peel a Case or whatever else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think that's just a good counter argument to my point, Sean, is that we're still early days in platform. The platform will evolve. So far, I'm super impressed with the team. They seem savvy. They're lean as hell too. Like when you look at that net income, like their team is not massive. Like this is not a bloated company, right? It's like they just got all the markings of like, this is an efficient machine.
I think she told me they have like 20 engineers. That's it.
Yeah,
Serious.
that's pretty bananas if that's true.
Yeah. And they're running out like new updates about every 2 weeks. But the one thing I'm really excited about is I think that the way that they're learning with their search engine and their like algorithm, how they're going to serve ads is going to be different than the way that Meta does. Like we all know if you click on an ad on Meta, you're going to get served that same company's ads like over and over and over and over and over again. And then maybe 2 other brands that are relative to that one brand, but you don't see the whole wide variety that you used to. I mean, would y'all agree with that? Like, no?
I definitely think that Meta's superpower is knowing who's in market for what, right? So if you click a wallet ad, they drop everything else about you. You want a wallet, you want a wallet, you want a wallet. So it's been able to show really awesome revenue growth, but does not reach net new people all that efficiently. Because who's getting pushed in market? Nobody's getting pushed in market. It is just a market harvesting tool. Where I think AppLovin, like a linear TV or a Snapchat or a TikTok, doesn't have that sophisticated of an ad network yet. So it is a wider net, but the wider net benefits you and actually gets new customers in your door. Because what do you actually care about, Katie? Do you want the best last click ROAS possible, or do you want as many new customers in the door at the cheapest price?
I want both, Sean.
Yeah. You can have it all.
I want both. No, I mean, we love Meta, right? Like it literally has made our business what it is today. I think I'm hopeful that AppLovin is going to maybe be different because ideally, right? Like we run both. And if they can unlock like this new group of customers, I mean, that's pretty cool.
But that's the whole point to all of these channels. Well, not the whole point, but a big point to an AppLovin or a linear TV is it gets you an incremental amount more reach that Facebook is going to struggle to get you because Facebook is an in-market machine. It's not by default like an OCPM, like a purchase conversion campaign is not by default a reach machine. Like that's not its objective, right? So like as a consumer, like most consumer brands spend probably damn near 100% of their dollars on Meta going after purchases. And I don't know too many that do a lot of like top of funnel work on Meta, but I am starting to hear of more and more doing top of funnel work or like awareness work off platform. AppLovin being sort of like the new kid on the block. That's like for you, Katie, and for at least what I'm seeing, like percent new visits really high.
Yeah.
You
It's
know, like
great.
that's nice to see from a new platform. Like when we light up TikTok or Snap, like I just don't see the same percent new visits that I do right now from like a linear or an AppLovin.
Same.
So I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe people that are more, inclined to be on social, like on Snap or TikTok, are also on other social platforms. And this one's different. The same way,
Totally.
people are sitting at home watching TV.
You know, the thing that always blows me, I listen, man, like we're all massive fans of Meta. Like all of our
Yeah.
business is built on it, but like human beings have a wide variety of media that they consume. You know, and if you're gonna like, and if Katie, I think for a brand like yours, like you sell a product that a lot of people in the country are in market for most of the time. Like
Yeah.
you've got something for them, right? Um, this type of like these larger reach platforms where like you can go on and just get crazy reach, like linear TV totally will work for you. I actually think it probably works a lot better for you than it does for Sean's wallet business.
I don't know. I think like because Sean leans into females like gifting, right?
No,
Like
I'm not talking
they're
about females. I'm just saying like in general, like the category itself, your category is more friendly to television.
yeah.
Look, Katie has one of the best categories. Like there's still a lot
Totally.
of people who hit me up trying to buy baby brands. Like that's not happening with like durable consumer goods. Like even the best brands. Like if you took Mike's not here, but if you took Simple Modern in market right now with hundreds of millions in revenue, awesome growth, great distribution, there's only a couple people who'd want to buy that business. But
Yeah.
like every private equity group on earth still wants to buy baby stuff
That's
because
funny that you say that. I always hear the opposite, actually.
what?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I bet people are just playing both sides. They just want the best deal possible and want anything.
Probably. But I do like it. I've always said, like, what I love most about our audience is every 9 months I have a new customer. So we kind of cycle through, right? Like our customers as they get pregnant and their kids grow up and
Dude,
the
and
whole
it's
thing.
it's such a gifting event too. If someone has a kid, like your first thing is, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you a bunch of clothes." So that's what everybody does. It's really hard to sell wallets.
Yeah. Best part of a recession is it usually results in a baby boom. So let's
Nothing to
fingers
do.
crossed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But look, so I think to tell this to wrap up the story on AppLovin, look, it's awesome to see new channels come here.
It's
If
great.
you haven't tried it, you should give it a try. I have not monetized the relationship, so you could but ask them for $50,000 in ad credit. They keep trying to give
I
people
did not get $50,000 in ad credit. I heard you say that at the beginning and I was like, "Oh, that's a bunch of bull." I did not
Yeah,
get that. But they do have a crazy wait list right now.
Yeah.
Like, and I heard even last week, the people they were letting on had to have a certain level of ad spend on Meta,
Yep.
and they've increased that since.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's like everyone needs to pay attention. I mean, it could be a big thing for everybody in e-commerce.
yeah. So they were trying to give people $10,000 in ad credit to try it. Everyone remember they're worth $80 billion. They're worth 3 times or 4 times what
Let me
Snapchat's
write this
worth.
down. Yeah.
Try
I
to
need to send a Slack to my rep really quick. Hold
yeah.
on.
Dude, always be closing, always be asking, always
Yeah.
ask, hey, can I get some more ad credit? But okay, let's pivot it over to TV. Actually, last thing, if you're
Yeah.
seeing good success there, I also would try running Snapchat non like purchase optimized campaigns. Just run
Yep.
their click campaigns. We've tried both at this point. Going back to Meta having this amazing ability to find people in market to make purchases. I don't think Snapchat has that. I think if you try doing
Retargeting.
that, yeah, or like it just increases the overall cost. Just run click campaigns and your percent of new visitors will go up and the last click ROAS is the same. Measured in Northbeam, that's how we measure it. So just try running click campaigns on Snap if you're seeing good results on AppLovin.
Oh, wait, one more thing. That's a really good point because we use Northbeam too. I will say that our Northbeam data and their in platform data, I don't know about you guys, but ours is like matching.
What?
Yeah, swear, like down to the order. And because when we first launched it, we were like skeptical and, really questioned it. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe it's because of like the knowing their customer, right? They're like they're installed on the mobile device. There's no data loss, right? We're like, maybe with the Meta there is. That's interesting.
Oh, well, because it's just a pixel, right? Because they've got a pixel on like the separate apps and they're just feeding back conversion data. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
because like it could be more of a perfect data match than like Meta, who tries to get
Yeah,
in
you're
their own
right.
way sometimes.
And maybe it'll get more diluted as it goes. Like right now, we're still just measuring like 1-day ROAS on it. I mean, we don't even know what kind of LTV these customers have yet. So something we're gonna keep our
I
eye
mean,
on though.
I keep hearing that the quality of customer seems to be pretty decent on platform. At least our early results look promising for like a 1-day click, from what we would typically see from a Meta.
Yeah.
Um, but we're still like, we were just slow to adopt. We were busy with something else.
Just fucking story of my life, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
can't do everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break and we're going to thank our sponsor, Postscript. Okay, here's what I want to talk about. There's been this trend in e-commerce where we're trying to get to like all-in-one solutions. So like SMS, email, everything's in one place. And I think there's a bunch of weird arguments for this. I think this is all BS. Like, I would rather have a solution that is like point built and is great for that one thing. This is why I like Postscript. This is why we use Postscript. They do SMS, they do it really freaking well. Right. And I hate to say I told you so, but a lot of brands have gone to like the all in one thing to try to integrate email and SMS, and they've just moved back. And they do it for a bunch of reasons. Oh, it's easier for attribution. It's easier on my marketing team to log into one place. I think that's all BS. Look, the reason we like Postscript is all they think about, they eat and breathe SMS, which means my team is constantly getting access to new features before anybody else. They're actually consulting with us and helping us get better at SMS. I think this like, email and SMS need to be integrated to make SMS more effective is a lie. The reality is most of us aren't sending enough email and most of us aren't sending enough SMS. So trying to like trigger one off the other is likely just a waste of time. And I don't know too many brands personally who can tell me straight faced that this has been a big benefit to them. So in my view and my experience, like the reason we like having Postscript as a sponsor is because we use it and it works really well. And the team is great. Their support's awesome. Their pricing is awesome. So that's my shout out to Postscript. It's wicked to have them as a sponsor for the pod. Let's get back to the show.
All right, let's pivot and talk about TV. The exact opposite, the oldest channel, right? And I think if AppLovin's working at high CPMs, TV works because of how low CPMs are, right? Like you can get $2, $3 CPMs. You can buy remnant sports game ad space that like runs and is beautiful. We've always done TV through Tatari. I'd love to hear other people's experience outside of Tatari. But
You've
yeah,
only ever done linear, or do you do Tatari does linear and programmatic? Like, do you do
We
streaming
do
too?
linear,
Okay, only.
only linear.
yeah, I'll tell you our whole history. So I think Tatari started in 2017. We got started in 2018 on Tatari. They were just linear, and you had to prepay for all your buys. I think they paid for our first TV creative, like them trying to get up as a startup. And we ran it from 2018 all the way through 2020. We took our foot off the gas when we got Meta to just work a lot better, and like we couldn't really validate it as a channel. We looked at Northbeam, whatever, like it was fine. I think there's better ways to spend dollars. We've also tried Connected, but it was direct buys through Hulu Connected TV, and that sucked ass. I don't even know if that's a program anymore, but like that, it was like $50 CPMs, like super, super bad. But now we're back on Tatari. We're running TV ads for Q4. And yeah, the biggest advantage is how cheap. There's just like it's us and a couple other brands, and then a bunch of pharmaceutical companies. That's who runs TV ads. But Katie, what's your experience?
You think? Well, so I'm kind of new to it. So we did, we just came on about 4 months ago in August. And, I remember kind of like having discussion with my team, like, well, is TV dead? Like, or is our customers even watching TV anymore? But we
A
wanted to
lot.
test it a lot. I know, like 50% of people still are watching TV. And I knew nothing about buying TV at all. And we were using Mountain before. So, and that was more self-serve. I will say Mountain's very like upload your commercial. And then I think it's a lot of retargeting and the whole thing. But you didn't have to actually understand like what is a tier 1, a tier 2, a tier 3 network? Like, what does it mean to have different programming times? And like, how do you measure it? Right? Like all of that. And was hesitant to on the budget, and I talked to a lot of brands. Sean, do you remember what y'all started at? Because you've been on it for a while.
Well, yeah. So Tatari, when they started, you had to commit to $25,000 a month, and then they moved it to
Oh,
50,000 a month, and then they moved it to 200,000 a month. I think
Yeah.
is the minimum spend you have now. Is it more?
no, it's not more.
No, it's like I think it's
Okay.
Yeah.
25K a week or 50K
Yeah.
a week, something like that. But it's close, Sean. You're not
And
far.
honestly, here's my thing. Like, you kind of have to spend that because when
Yeah.
you first, you literally throw spaghetti at a wall at the beginning. And I went in and I have a really awesome rep at Tatari too. Like, she's a rock star and completely understands our brand, which is fabulous. Like, nothing sucks worse than getting a rep that does not understand your brand. But I was like, oh, we need to immediately go on like the Today Show and HGTV and, Magnolia, and we'll kill it on all those channels. And she's like, okay, well, here's what your CPV will be on those channels. And it was like, I could reach 10 people with my budget.
Yeah.
And so they kind of like helped explain, like, you really have to test through like what they say is their beta, which is, I want to say it was a good 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks of like pure, you've got to just spend on every single network and then see what works. And then after that, we started optimizing. But even like you were saying, Sean, like our CPVs when we were throwing spaghetti at the wall were still better technically, right, than Meta. So it wasn't converting and it was not profitable when we first went in, but we have optimized and we've brought down our CPV. Like, I mean, it's for a couple bucks now. It's awesome.
And let me just say this: Tatari, actually good people to do business with. I accidentally left $400,000 in my account for like a year, and then they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, you have $400,000 in the account. Do you want it back?" And they gave it to me back. So I prepaid.
Also, how you need to fire whoever lost $400,000 in your Tatari account, or was it
No.
you? Did you
No,
lose it?
it wasn't me. We're just, I think we prepaid for a bunch of media, and we're like, "Oh, we must have spent it," and then we just, I don't know, forgot to spend it or something. So
That's unreal. Yeah, they're good people. I've enjoyed everybody on their team.
Yeah, their
But we
team's
had
great.
to, and so we've learned, like, so over the last 3 months, we've completely changed up our creative. They didn't give us any creative like credit. We just had to figure it out. But like what we always do, we created ours ourselves. And so it was cheap. And we ran our first ads, which we thought were so good because anyone we showed it to in the office, they'd cry. And when swear to God.
Those are
I
always
thought,
the worst ads.
yeah, I thought, oh my God, I have missed my calling. Like, I should make TV channel. Like, we made somebody cry. I was so proud. We like uploaded them into their like creative network and asked all of our reps to like give us feedback. And they were like, it's good. Let's run with it. And then like 3 weeks later, our girl goes, look, like your commercials are really good, but it's just, it was built around emotion, basically, is what we did. And she's like, I really think you should try something that's a little bit more like direct response, kind of like what we do on Meta, like literally where we're like, shop now at cadenlane.com. We switched over our commercials, same visual, same clip, same everything, completely new voiceover, and it improved performance. Like, it doubled it. I mean, it killed it overnight just with our freaking voiceover. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So I think we should get into like the nuance of how TV is bought. And like, I haven't done the TV buying through Tutari since like 2018, but how they used to sell packages is you would choose your creative. It could be 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or a minute. And then you choose your networks. And then they give you, I mean, you think you know the networks that are on TV. Maybe there's Comedy Central, Fox, CNN, whatever. No, they're like, you should really run on the fishing channel and the hot rod channel. And it's like, I've never heard of those. They're like, yeah, every night 2,000 men watch the hot rod channel. That's the channel for you. And so there's like, yeah, like you said, like spaghetti on a wall. There's thousands of these TV channels you never heard of, each one with very, very low reach. I remember we used to run when Vice still had a TV channel. It was like, yeah, you can reach everybody on Vice for $11. You want to do that? I'm like, yeah, sure.
And at odd times, like you would probably like when you were preaching to him, like, I want to be at 6 o'clock and I want to be at 9 a.m. No, like it's all about the remnants.
Totally.
I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, remnant buys is where you get your cheap inventory.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And then if you find one that really kills it, well, you can buy ahead and like reserve that. Like we're going to reserve some space around Black Friday for sure. But yeah, it just the leftover TV has been great.
Yeah.
Because if you're tied, right, you're like, yeah, I want to be on The Bachelor like at 8 p.m. nationwide. And they're like, okay, well, that is a $50 CPM. But if they can't sell that the day before, they're like, hey, do you want it for $12? So yeah, I think remnant TV is really important. Also,
I do too.
we would do 15-second bumpers, what they call them, 15-second ads, and throw out your mind like what you think a TV ad should look like. That's wrong. Like you basically just want to
Like
take
what
your
I did. I thought you were
Yeah.
supposed to cry and be like, "I'll forever be dedicated to
Oh,
that
God.
brand."
Our best
No.
TV ad, Katie, is our head of product, literally like for 15
Just
seconds
talking.
talking about Lomi.
That's
Now, we
like the
found out that
ones.
she took some acting classes. We're like, great, get over in the company kitchen,
You
get
know
the
who I
camera.
think makes the best TV commercials? And she makes the best ads, period. But the founder of Lumi, the deodorant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. Do y'all don't get served her stuff? Oh, great. Apparently Meta and my TVs think that I stink in all kinds of areas because I get fed it all the time. But I am in awe because y'all need to look up. There's a what's the website where you can look up commercials?
iSpot.
Yes. Watch theirs. It's
I'm
like
gonna go check it
totally
out.
UGC. Like she does a lot of just stuff where she's just talking like she's talking to the team. I watch every freaking one, and I don't even buy the product.
Yeah, I
But
think her name's I want to say it's Stephanie, but I don't think that's right.
Like Lume, this chick.
Yeah,
yeah,
Cool.
they
Yeah.
crush. I mean,
they
super,
crush.
yeah, super good ads, very direct response, eye contact, explaining why she made it. Like those are great ads. But people
Yeah.
go into TV being
Matt,
like,
you
oh,
might want to look into it. I think it's actually something
We do that.
you
Like
might-
our best performing style of ad is like, here's why we made the product. This is what it does. This is why people like. It's like super direct
Yeah.
response.
But
15
that's what I
and
mean.
30s.
Like you might just want their deodorant. It's for like stinky
What
balls and
fuck,
stuff.
Katie? We're remote. How could you make that judgment over Zoom?
I'm just saying.
hilarious.
Anyways, they have killer commercials. And now like I find myself paying attention. I don't know if y'all do. Like, gone are the days where I'm impressed by like Coca-Cola's commercials. Now when I see like a DTC brand like running a commercial, I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, I love how they did 3-second clips. I love how they do their CTA at the end. Like they're constantly calling out the brand. If you pay attention to commercials are extremely repetitive. Have y'all ever caught that? Is that like a known thing?
Well, yeah. What I really like is, I mean, just multiple 15 seconds, like per
Yeah.
hour of programming. I think that's good. I've also had people do the opposite, where they just buy the full minute and then just like hit it home 6 or 7 times, like call to actions, the exact same value props.
Yeah.
But I think it's
That
the same
sounds
thing as-
expensive. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing as AppLovin, where like TV viewers are used to really bad ads, right? Like
Mhm.
they're used to pharmaceutical drugs or whatever. And when you have cool products with cool messaging and taking the best things that work on social, because to be a meta dependent advertiser growing, you are the best advertiser. Like there's nobody better than you. Every day you're fighting and winning new customers profitably. Like you're going against some middle manager at some PE firm, you know what I mean? Like, or Procter
Totally.
and Gamble or whatever. You're kicking their ass. So go into their arenas. Like that's AppLovin, that's TV, and you can get awesome returns. You do probably need to be an 8-figure brand because you have to be willing to spend $100,000 and like
I think
not
it's
do that.
category, Sean. I think category matters a lot in television. Like you need something that is like, because it is a shotgun. It's not there's no targeting, right? It's like you're gonna try a whole bunch of places, and you need something that everybody buys. Like that's like a huge TAM thing.
What's a category that wouldn't work?
I don't think it would work for Peel a Case.
Really?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say there's no targeting. I'd say it's interest-based targeting. I don't know if it would work for Peel a Case or not. You know who would have a hard time with TV? I think Figs. I think Figs does spend money on TV, but it is like a medical professional, like
Yeah,
clothing
but
brand.
I bet they'd kill it during like Grey's Anatomy and shows like that.
Maybe.
Well, I would think so too, but I don't know if doctors actually watch that or nurses actually watch that. Like that's like the thing. Is like,
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing with TV is like we've always been surprised by the placements that perform. It's never what we think it is. Like my best friggin' placement this summer for Lomi was tennis.
Tennis?
I'm like, what? Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, it crushed the Food Network. I'm like, get the fuck, like tennis? They're like, yeah, US Open and whatever other things. It just like smacked.
Yeah.
I would have never made that call.
Yeah.
Well, sports is definitely the best because people are so interested and it's live and people are watching. Like
and they're committed. They tune in to watch every single. Yeah.
But I think, Sean, what you're hitting on, I think we've spoken about this before, but like My view of television is it's a higher trust channel than most social placements. Like, yeah, you're next to a pharmaceutical company, but I would rather be next to like big brand pharmaceutical company in an ad spot than like John's Dick Pills from Oregon, who's running you on like in Instagram, right?
Yeah,
Like
or the
Well, because
way
you trust them. Like you figure if
John
they're on
or the
TV
pharmaceutical company.
or the pills, I don't know, like all of them. I think it's because what you're saying is like the customer that's like laying in bed watching TV and something comes on some level, you're like, they must be legit because they're on TV,
Yeah,
right?
it's the company you
Yeah.
keep.
We absolutely use Northbeam, and me specifically, every day. I'm constantly in there building out reports. And I remember when we brought it on a couple years ago, and I got to meet Austin, who is the founder, and he is fabulous. And he was selling me on the idea of, not using in platform and really using a separate platform as like our source of truth, which is what we needed. And I mean, it has been a deal breaker for us. It's helped us scale in areas and on platforms that we didn't even, weren't getting a good read on. And it's helped us optimize for our channels that we really had a lot of high spend on. And their team is great. My favorite part is taking the calls with them where they, dive deep into the insights, and they've always got really great information for us. So yeah, I love Northbeam. We wouldn't be where we are at today without them.
Let's go back to the way Meta works. It knows if you're in market and then they just show you your direct competitors. TV doesn't do that, right? So like one advantage of spending money on TV is like, look, if you click on a phone case ad, you're going to get me, you're going to get Matt, you're going to get every fucking phone case brand on earth. But you can get in front of an audience who maybe they want a phone case, maybe they don't. You don't really know. The targeting isn't there, but at least it's not directly competing against everyone else in market.
Yeah. And it is a really great top of funnel tool, right? So if you can keep your costs low and your CPVs like at a minimum, then maybe they're not in market right now, but when they do become in market, they're like, what was that wallet company, right? That I heard about, or somebody's best friend gets pregnant. And they're like, God, what was that baby brand? And then if somebody says it or they see it somewhere, I do think it keeps it more top of mind.
You know
Wouldn't
what?
you
I
agree?
think the other big thing with television is it's not an always on channel. Like not for
Yeah,
most brands. Like I'm going to layer this in at certain times a year that make the most sense for my category, my brand,
totally.
whatever. It's not like Meta where you're just going to kind of have like spend on most of the time in most categories. I've met people who have an exception to this, but TV is more like I'm going to blast this thing right now.
I think that's a great point. And we've actually had to refresh our creative completely more frequently than we have on Meta. Like Meta, you find a winner and you just like let it run. And I've definitely seen with TV, like as we've added new creative and it tends to take all the spend, we're cycling out old creative faster.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'm just getting better at making TV commercials.
Dude, totally. I want
I
to go
know.
back to TV because the real alpha on sorry, TV and sports is if you work with Atari or anybody else, just try to buy extra innings. Okay.
Yeah.
Like overtime, we don't need our ads to run any particular time. If you're a movie that comes out on Friday, you need to run during the Thursday game or the Friday game or the Saturday game, like out now. We don't really need that. Like, we don't care if it runs Friday or Tuesday. Like, it doesn't really matter, right? You're optimizing for the cheapest cost per view, right? Or even cost per visitor, whatever. Uh, to get that done, tell them I will buy any extra innings, like overtime in NBA. Like we bought World Series a couple of years ago, and that's how we did it. It's like, hey, look, when it goes to inning 10, give me all the ads because more people are actually watching the later it goes, even if people leave the stadium.
So how does that work? Because you have to book it in advance and then to get clearance, right? Like it's not live. Like we're Meta, if we have a good day, we can scale that day. I mean,
Yeah.
Tatari's a lot more like you have to have clearance or you have
No,
to
but you're
clear.
giving them they clear the creative per network or per like group of networks, and then you're sort of like at that point, Tatari is literally buying that inventory like remnant inventory, right? So it's
Yeah.
not because there's no guarantee there's extra innings, so they treat that like remnant.
Can they go in and scale the one like though, like he's saying, like what if some game goes into overtime? Can you like increase the spend? And
No,
that, yeah, no, right? It has to be like pre-bought.
what we used to do, and don't quote me on this. I don't know if Satari works like this anymore. We would
Satari listening to this, shaking their head like dumbasses. They didn't even know what they're talking about.
yeah,
Well,
totally.
we're the
Yeah.
CEOs.
And then,
like,
you know, ask Tari
yeah.
for free ad credit too while you're at it. Just ask
Yeah,
everybody for
$50,000. That's what I didn't get, but Sean did. So ask for it.
Yeah, people would be like, Tari's like, what the fuck are these people talking about?
Yeah.
We would send them money and say, hey, if you can get this sort of CPM, run it, right?
Yeah.
And it would just, I don't know, automatically clear or whatever. Maybe there's a guy behind the scenes doing that for me. I have no idea how that works, but
It's a media buying team. I met mine and they're so nice. But it's funny, you keep talking about sports and I'm looking at like our top ones. We're not on any sports. So maybe but I don't
that
want to
might
say
make
it's a
sense
guy.
for you.
Yeah. And I was gonna be like, this is a guy thing. Well, no, it's not. Women watch sports too. Like I watch football all the time, but I can't think of like the commercials I'm seeing.
Well,
So
Lomi doesn't do well on all sports. We do well on tennis. We do well on golf. Like there's certain sports that have connected, but like baseball and basketball and football haven't. And we've tried like, I mean, at this point over the last 3 years, like we've tried a lot of different placements at different times of the year, but we go on TV now, starting about 3 weeks ago, and then we'll come off after holiday, and then we'll go back on in March for
yeah.
like peak
Hey,
sort of gardening, spring cleaning season and
that's a
Mother's
good
Day.
point. So are they pushing you? So they keep talking about Q5 and like what we're going to do, which usually we pull way back to after
Yep.
shipping cutoff. But I would think for brands that are wanting to like test out Tatari, it'd be a great time to kind of test to see. I mean, it's just cheap. Like that's when it's the cheapest to buy TV, when all the big brands have pulled out. I mean,
Well-
you know,
well, I'll also say that I bet viewership's actually really, really high from Christmas.
yeah. What do you
and-
do
Yes.
after Thanksgiving? You sit and watch TV,
Yeah, totally.
right? Or after Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would
Maybe we shouldn't tell people that and we just run it and see how it works out.
No, so that's something we really embraced last year is like, you know, this idea of Q5 from like, you know, basically the week of Christmas until the second week of January and just going hard as hell. And I'll pull up live sales results of that week. And I think it's really strong. We also really pull back, you know, shipping cutoff. And like the last day of shipping cutoff, we probably do $2 million or whatever. Like
Wow.
it's a huge revenue driver for us because we're a gift giving product.
Yeah.
And then there's
So
a
you just
huge-
each day you add on another day as long as you can keep up. I think I remember last year at Christmas you being, because our cutoff was before yours, and every day Sean's like, I'm extending my cutoff and I just did another $20 million. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Look, we also don't run our warehouse, so we're dependent on somebody else. But dude,
Yeah.
so the drop off Christmas Eve, we're lucky to break a couple $100,000. The 3 days before Christmas Eve or 4 days before Christmas Eve, it's a multi-million-dollar day. So it's like,
God.
It
You
is
run
such-
that close to Christmas, dude?
Yeah. What are you doing? Like overnight shipping?
well, we drive a lot of people to Amazon. Like, so we'll
Oh.
do $1 million like the last day Amazon can guarantee it, which is like the 22nd or 23rd. But then this Q5 idea, it's fine. I mean, like the day after Christmas, we're probably up to $400,000 from like 150 on Christmas itself. So we can scale up a little bit, but we'll try harder this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Christmas
I'll
Day
send
is
you pic-
weirdly good. I don't
Yeah,
get
it is for us too.
Yeah.
I love it. Christmas Day, the day after, and then we skyrocket. I love January.
Well,
It's my
dude,
favorite.
I mean, Christmas Day itself, the number one day for engagements. I bet the number one day to tell your family you're pregnant. So I bet
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
an ad you should run.
Just like that. I'm gonna get you. Can you come and do it for me though, so I
Oh,
can have
totally,
like a
dude.
complete?
I can play a new dad so well, man.
Yeah,
You're the perfect age for it.
you are.
Dude, that's the angle you should have for like sports ads. It'd be like, hey, I'm a new dad. I have no fucking idea what's going on.
But somebody told me to buy this, and so I did, and my wife is happy with me, so everyone else should do it.
Yeah, totally.
And that's it. Easy. We take Q5 easy. Like after, I don't know, Matt, if y'all do too, but after shipping cutoff, we take those 2 weeks to breathe, like literally.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the last 2 weeks of December for us is a breather for sure. Because especially like
Yeah.
manufacturing the product, you know, we're like right now is basically like we're trying to get ahead of what we think we're gonna sell. So this is the
Yeah.
only time of year where Pillowcase actually starts to build some inventory. Like most of the year we make as we sell completely on
Oh, but you're
demand.
trying to like stock up so that you have it.
Now we're like,
Yeah.
okay, like what are our 50 best sellers? Like we're going to sell a lot of those designs. Let's just start pre-making those while we have capacity, because like the minute like we turn on our Black Friday this Thursday, the minute that goes live, like the poor people in our
You
production.
haven't turned on your Black Friday yet? Didn't we have this discussion with Christmas?
No.
Remember, you didn't have your Christmas phones, I
No,
think,
I had them
right?
out.
Like
We had them out. Well, yeah, you put yours up like in August.
it's
And I
yes,
thought
it's
that was a bit early.
look, it's practically Easter now. Like I'm glad you guys are still thinking about Black Friday, but we're on to Easter and 4th of July at this point. So but I feel like everybody's launched a lot of their Black Friday stuff already.
No,
Oh,
we're
dude.
holding.
Yeah,
You're both holding?
we did early holiday sale in October, right? And we just like we slowly add to it. The 12th, which is the day after this podcast is being recorded, that's when we're officially in peak holiday. The entire website goes like, we have Santa on with the whole thing. But we've had like a expanded sales section the whole time with like pretty good deals and offers. I was telling everybody as soon as the election's over, like that's Christmas. It's like we should
Yeah.
just get started right now. It's the latest Black Friday could ever be, and we have Cyber Monday happening in December.
Yeah.
You like
Ugh.
if you're a Cyber Monday dependent like brand, it is really important for us every day before Christmas. Like that week is all $1 million days, right? So we just try to get a jump on that as quickly as possible. So we're spending a ton of money right now. We're having 5, 6, $700,000 days right now, just trying to like get into it. And we haven't officially kicked off holiday until tomorrow. But yeah, usually, dude, by the time this comes out, if you haven't started, you're done.
You missed
Oh yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
starting like this week. You
Yeah.
know, like site changeover, all that stuff. But it's more just like the big Black Friday, like the messaging, Katie. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that we hold back on until
Not
now.
us.
Dude,
You
I
went
mean, Aloe
hardcore.
was in October, like Black
Oh,
Friday
that's
early
really
access.
early. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's early. And we change it up. We make it fun and different. But you brought up a good point. Like I keep thinking about this whole, Cyber Monday's December 2nd, right?
Mhm.
And then usually we all have that whole week after. I wonder if the consumer is going to pull forward some of their spending this year. Really, I don't think they will. I don't think
I don't think so.
anybody except for us is aware of the fact that like Cyber Monday is 3 weeks from Christmas.
Consumers don't really care about our comps, Katie.
I
On a
know.
year-over-year
But I
basis.
obsess. Do you know what else has been really hard this year? And I think I texted one of you guys this. Like Chinese New Year starts 2 weeks earlier than it
Yeah.
ever has.
We're getting crunched. Like you're getting crunched on holiday.
Oh,
This
both
year is a little
ways.
shorter, and
Yes.
I know it's causing us hell on the warm
Well, for
side.
projections, because usually we like to see like what we're moving at Black Friday and Cyber Monday and like what are we clearing out and what do we want to focus on. And you've got to get your like POs in early, way early to get them in time, or at least they ship before Chinese New Year. And this year, they're not only do they get a month-long vacation, but this year they're doing it 2 weeks early on the one year that we have Black Friday a week late. So it is a crazy time to be in e-commerce, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and when they come back from Chinese New Year, hopefully we understand what Trump's going to do with these tariffs. So
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. Although election did not affect sales either way. I don't think.
Really,
I mean,
we got soft for 2 days.
did
but
you really?
I also sell to like what I'm assuming is a much more left-leaning person.
We had the day before election, we had a killer day.
Yeah, us too.
Like it was like everyone's like, well, I better go buy what I wanted before.
I don't know. I like
Whatever
the Sunday,
happens.
Monday before election. I'm like, wow, people
Yeah.
are doom scrolling or something, but this is great.
It was fantastic. I know. I loved
we've
it.
seen a huge pickup post-election. Like the election day itself was the weakest day we've seen since October, and since
Yeah.
then it's been crushing it.
Yeah,
Killer.
we've been picking
Same.
back up. Like we're recording this on November 11th for people listening, but I think right now I was looking, Appeal case is up like 40 some percent year over year. 44,
That's awesome.
44.2%
For
in the
November.
first like 10 days of November. We're great. We're happy.
Yeah. Yeah. We are. I mean, I don't want to jinx it. If I say it out loud, I'm going to jinx it and then it's going to go the opposite direction. But let me just say November is like the best freaking month of the year. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling the team this. I'm like, between today and the end of the year, we have to do like $70 million. So it's
Wow.
like, good
Yeah.
luck, everybody. A lot of fucking walls.
See ya.
See ya. Sorry
Yeah.
to be in ops. And then the day after, marketing's like, bye. And then ops is just struck with like the whole mess to clean up after.
Yeah.
So
The last
it's
thing I
pretty
want to say
cool.
about this, we try to close the business from the 23rd until basically the 1st of the year, and just like try to give everyone like a little bit of a break, like free PTO basically.
Yeah.
Some people have to stay on customer service, whatever. Do you guys operate the same way, or how do you guys think about that?
Oh, I don't know what our policy is right now, but yeah, I mean, there's certain teams that, once shipping cutoff hits, like the marketing team, just, man, go to bed. Like to get a drink, like just do something, come back and turn back on Christmas Day just to make sure shit is on. But like, yeah, not till the new year.
Yeah. Ours is I don't tell them to go to bed and have a drink, but it's the same.
I'm just
We
like,
take-
whatever floats your boat, Katie. It's just go do
Yeah.
the thing that you need to do to recharge.
You know what we all do? Well, because remember, we're all in office too. So,
Yeah.
but like we definitely take those 2 weeks to like clean out our desks and like it's like spring cleaning at Christmas. We do our huge company Christmas party like
Yeah.
during it, which, nobody ever makes it to work the next day. And we try to step up and help ops. I mean, as much as we can, but we focus on inventory. Like I just feel I can breathe. Like that's what I love most about those 2 weeks is that it gives my brain a break. And then the second we get to Christmas, I'm like, all right, game on. Yeah, it's great.
All right, guys. Well, let's do an episode in the new year, or like I guess post Black Friday, and we'll see how we all did. And I'll either buy everybody champagne or be asking for a job. So we'll see, guys. Katie, as
You're
always,
so unemployable. There's
Yeah.
no way that's happening.
dude, I could work in the warehouse with Katie. I wouldn't. My car windows won't be busted. I swear, I'll show up just fine.
I like shipping orders. You told me you went and shipped orders, that you literally texted me and you were like, I pulled a Katie. I'm like, that sounds like an insult, but I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Dude, no, I was in the warehouse all
shipping.
October. Yeah, it fucking sucked.
Yeah, but you know what? It makes you really great at what you do. Because I think sometimes you do have to kind of get down on the, in the front lines and figure it out with everybody else.
Mhm.
So I think your team probably really respected you for doing that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think my team has a healthy dose of fear and respect. As you guys saw, I told everybody, I'm not your fucking dad. Figure it out.
Yeah, I've seen your group Slags, like for sure.
All right, we'll end it there. Katie, we love having you here. Come on anytime. Take my spot on the operators.
Oh,
Bye.
stop. I love it. Thank y'all for having me.
This is great. That's fun.
You made it. An amazing episode of the Operators Podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to the newsletter. Thank you to Fulfill, the best sponsor on earth, Northbeam, Postscript. They're tied for 2 of the best sponsors on earth. Love them. Love what they do for us. Thank you for being here. Subscribe, like, share. Follow me on Twitter. Follow the other guys on Twitter. Talk to you later. Goodbye.